Looking at clothing trends throughout the years, we see so many changes and developments concerning how women dress and how they attempt to attract the opposite sex with their fashion choices. Here are some of the sexiest fashion trends throughout the years. The 1920s brought the era of short flapper dresses and even shorter hair. Women attempted to lighten their skin as much as possible by applying powder to their faces. The lighter the skin, the more attractive they felt. Makeup, on the other hand, was bold and stood out against their light complexions. After years of covering up, the 1920s were a time for women to showcase their bodies and their dance moves. The 1930s and 1940s are considered to be Hollywood's golden age. Everyone wanted to look like the sexy starlets they admired most. For years, women were obsessed with looking like movie stars, something most of us still want today. In the 1930s and 1940s, clothing was glamorous and hair was big. Also, Hollywood's golden age was around the time when women began wearing pants, something most men thought to be very appealing. Women in the 1950s were on the prowl and dressed primarily for men, which meant dressing attractively without showing too much skin. Most women looked at movie stars like Marilyn Monroe for style inspiration. Straight hair was a thing of the past, and women began sleeping with curlers in the hair so that they would wake up with perfect waves. The 1960s were all about the flower child look. Hippies decided to forego wearing makeup or doing their hair and went for a very natural vibe. Bell-bottoms and platform shoes were the go-to fashion choices of the decade. There were also the women who weren't into the hippie look and wanted to dress more modern, wearing their hair in pixie cuts and applying fake eyelashes in order to emulate model Twiggy. Women in the 1970s were always prepared for a night of disco dancing with their significant other. They would wear their hair in long layers, think Farrah Fawcett in Charlie's Angels, and their clothing revolved around high-waisted jeans and oversized sunglasses. The bronze look was in, and women began tanning excessively and applying self-tanner in order to look like they just came back from the beach. Madonna was the main inspiration behind the material girl fashion of the 1980s. Big hair, shoulder pads, blue eyeshadow, and bold eyebrows were some of the biggest trends for that decade. Clothing incorporated lots of neon and spandex, thanks to the aerobics exercise fad that was all the rage in the 80s. Mini skirts were extremely popular during this decade, and the shorter, the better. In the mid-1990s, everyone wanted the same haircut that Jennifer Aniston sported on the television show Friends, as she was considered one of the most attractive celebrities during that time. TV was the inspiration behind most fashion trends of that decade, think Saved by the Bell and Beverly Hills 90210. Lots of crop tops, Doc Martens, and piercings came into the picture. Women wanted to dress like the sexy stars they saw on TV. In the last decade, we've moved towards an era of fashion expression that has become individual to each person. We've seen certain fads come and go, but for the most part, every woman has cultivated her own personal style, borrowing trends we've seen throughout the years and making them sexy in their own ways. Some women are prone to the hippie look, while others identify more with grunge. Whatever your style, today's fashion is constantly evolving, while still looking to the past for inspiration. And today's woman is comfortable dressing sexy, not only for her partner, but also for herself.